Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Survivor 40, Winners at War. Okay, and I think I speak for Sarah, I'm not happy with what happened this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
But first.
Yes.
If you're new to this channel, please click subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up.
Normally we're positive. Please support us on Patreon.
Very disappointed energy.
Yes. All right. Okay. So things went down this episode, and it started with Adam wanting to target Parvati.
Yes. Adam has a big old plan of weakening Rob.
By taking out another woman.
He wants Parvati gone. She's too charming for him.
I mean, look, that's a great point. Parvati does need to go eventually, but it's just this whole narrative is getting so tired of like, let's weaken Rob by taking out the people around him. You got the numbers to send him home, do that. But
well, what we learned though is that Adam wants to work with Rob.
Oh my God.
He doesn't want to get rid of Rob.
No, I want to work with him long term.
Because you know what? Rob trusts Adam.
Oh, sure.
They can work together.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So taking away his number one, Parvati,
that's great. Paves the way for Adam.
It's a little opening for Adam to be Rob's number one.
So at the beginning of the episode, we see Adam pitch the idea to Denise, who's in, and then pitch it to Ethan, who's close with Parvati, and Ethan's like, you idiot.
Did he just come tell me this?
It's like the second week in a row where someone goes to someone that Parvati is close to and tells them we want to get her out. Danny with Rob and now Adam with Ethan. It's like, what are you people thinking is going to happen here if you tell these people the plan?
Well, I think Adam thinks he's better at this game than he is.
Yes. Yeah, he's been good so far. Yeah. But this was an episode where it was like, you're playing a little too hard.
We were really raving about him last week.
Oh, we sure were, but the tune has changed. Yes. Over on the other tribe, Sandra is fishing. She's trying to prove her worth to the tribe because she realizes, like, I can't just do what I've always done. Like, I got to bring that next level to my game, which is a smart move. But Tyson's like, we got to get Sandra.
Yeah, it's very cute to see what Sandra does. She sets up the net. She's like, look, all we have to do is set out a net and walk away.
Yeah.
We'll get no fish. Like, that's so Sandra. I love it. And then Tyson's like, dude, I'm in trouble. I gotta put the target on someone else. Yeah. Which I don't blame him. You absolutely do need to do that. Yep. And he picks someone who he can list. You know, she's won it twice.
Oh my God, she's already got $2 million in the bank.
Yeah. Yes. Like, it's a solid argument. He pitches it to Sophie and Yul.
Yeah, you know, they seem to be receptive.
Yul takes the bait for a second, but once that shark comes in.
Oh my Lord, they wake up to a shark caught in the net.
The shark breakfast, y'all.
And it's a whole other, like, hilarious Tony segment where he, you know, frees the shark from the net.
Tony needs to be the one to get the shark.
I don't know why, because Tony, apparently everyone knows Tony is afraid of sharks, but he's grabbing the shark, and then the shark almost takes his arm off.
Almost, y'all, almost.
Okay, really play that one up, Tony. But then Yul is kind of like, well, look at what Sandra's done. She caught the shark, and, you know, she's really improving morale on the tribe, and that's so important, so I don't think I'm ready to lose Sandra, says Yul.
I mean, first off, the fact that Sandra is the one keeping morale high in the camp is hilarious. Yeah. So you'll just straight up tell Sandra, Tyson says you'll make him.
And Sandra, true to form, is none too pleased. She's like, don't think you're going to throw the queen's name out and you're going to get away with it.
No, usually you don't.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
So we get a potential war brewing there.
Right.
And then
Extinction Island.
Head on over there.
Let's check in with the edge of estrogen, as Sarah has
coined it, which I love. Ladies over there on their desert island.
Danny's catching a fish, and then it's a challenge. They get the clue of the tree.
They get three different clues, so they each have their little bundle.
Right, but they're all like the same, roughly the same picture of a tree.
Yeah.
And so they go in search of this very unique looking tree on the island, and eventually they find this combination challenge.
Yes. They are reading that they've been given all of this information. They don't need to be guessing numbers.
Right. Is it our birthdays?
Yeah.
Is it, you know, what?
I was like 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. It's all 40. I don't know.
Right.
But Amber remembers seeing numbers on a crate. So she runs off. This is what we saw in the preview. Amber running off. Natalie,
Amber! Right.
So Amber is scrambling to write down these numbers. She runs back to the combo. And I love Natalie just like plays all of this so perfectly. She's like, well, what'd you look at? Where'd you go? What numbers did you look at?
Right. And Amber's like, I was just looking at everything.
Numbers around camp. Just around camp.
So Natalie goes back down then while Amber's kind of flailing.
Because this doesn't work. These numbers do not work.
Yeah, the combos are not working because she didn't look at the right thing. Yeah. So Natalie goes down and smartly looks at the clue they were given and notices this string of shells grouped into different numbers.
Yes, very obvious.
So she's counting the shells and realizing, like, this is the answer. What does she do?
Destroy the evidence.
Destroys the evidence, folks. This is a survivor. She smashes shells. She throws it into the jungle. Like, I'm going to make sure that I'm the only one who has this information. She heads back up to the combo thing. Bing, bang, boom. Yeah. She's got another advantage.
Totally works. The other two girls are defeated. They leave.
Yes.
She gets to do it all by herself. This is a complete secret. They have no idea.
No clue.
That Natalie opened it. She has her third advantage find on Edge of Extinction.
Crazy.
It is a steal a vote.
Steal a vote. So
and
who's she going to give this to?
There's a time limit.
Right.
Got to give it to someone. It has to go down before midnight.
Yeah.
Or else deal is not
before sundown, I think, right?
No.
One of the two.
Remember, it was very dark.
You're right. It was very dark. It was very dark. We'll get into that. So she's got to decide who to give it to. I'm thinking Jeremy's still got a fire token.
He's got one.
Maybe she wants to give it to Jeremy. But Natalie, smartly, she's spreading the love. Yeah. Building alliances and loyalties all the way from Extinction Island, and she gives this one to Sarah on the call.
Now this is interesting because you go, why Sarah? We have no inkling that Sarah would have two tokens, one to spare.
That's right, that's right.
I feel like unless Natalie asked Danny, your only guess is Rob probably has a second one at this point.
Well, but Danny was on Natalie's tribe.
No, I'm just saying, if Danny shows up at Edge of Extinction, I would casually be like, who'd you give your fire token to?
Oh, sure.
Like, it's just conversation.
Yeah.
Danny doesn't know how this works yet,
right.
So she just reveals information maybe.
Sure.
And then in the back of your head, Denise has two tokens.
Okay,
now.
right.
But if she doesn't have that information, she doesn't know who has two tokens. And so, does she remember that Sarah played this well
effectively?
Before?
Does she know that maybe Sarah understands the value that a steal a vote could have because she's played it effectively in the past?
Or does she just like Sarah and want to give her the opportunity to have an advantage?
Right. I want to believe that Natalie has done her survivor homework and knows that Sarah has used this advantage. So she sends it over to Sarah, and Sarah's kind of weighing, I only have one fire token. Once I buy this, I have no more money, but also I know I want an advantage. This is winners at war. Let's go to battle. So she decides she's ready to take this risk. It's the incredible twist that was introduced last season where you have to sneak into the other camp at night.
I need this every season.
Every single season.
This is an addition that I want always.
It's genius.
It's so good.
But she's not going alone.
Well, she needs her partner to help her drop the warrant.
She needs backup. Yeah.
I was trying to follow the cop lingo. She was great at it, but she's got her backup.
So here's where it gets a little ridiculous for me. She didn't need backup. Okay, the producers were like, we just gotta add to the moment here. Can you bring someone? Because Tony can't go with her.
No.
He just leaves in the middle of the night. Because what's great about this is she has to sneak away from her own camp and infiltrate the other camp.
Yes.
So she tells Tony, come with me. But he can't go to the other camp with her. He's just grasping around in the dark with her. And then this ridiculous sequence of him putting...
Do you expect anything else if you ask Tony to be your partner?
You're absolutely right. But he's putting charcoal on her forehead in the pitch black. As if you need to be darkened at all. And I'm just gonna say it. If someone ever suggests that they want to put charcoal on your face, run. Run away.
Especially if they had to spit in it and it's just
a mess.
But it was hilarious television.
I mean, yes.
So good. They're a mess together and off she goes to this other camp.
Okay. So she's alone when she gets to the other camp. And the editing is so good.
It's so good.
People are stirring.
Yes.
Ben's lifting up his buff in the middle of the night looking.
We know that this is not sequential. No. We know that, but it's done so well, and you just, like, the camera is infrared, but they don't have any light. The only light is coming from the fire. Right. She does not know this camp. Right. She can't tell who is who where, but she sees the tall torches and she is just doing her best to clickety-clink around.
Oh my God.
And reach around. Yes. I mean, it was not a quiet scenario.
No, and she says, like, these torches are so tall, I have to fully stand up. I'm, like, fully exposed to these people who are sleeping by a fire, reaching in, and again, the editors draw it out perfectly before she finally, you know, feels the steel boat, and she gets it.
I don't know how this has been successful 2 times now.
But keep it going.
Wouldn't you think a rat or something is out there coming for you? Yeah. I would be on alert. I would never sleep on that island.
Never.
I don't know how someone can fumble around your camp and people are not waking up.
Well, Sarah did it. So good for her. Yes. Now she's got this advantage. Yes. Natalie has another fire token. In Natalie's words, she's like, I'm a billionaire on Extinction Island.
She has 3 tokens. She's the only person with 3 tokens. Mm-hmm. Most people have 1.
Yeah.
So
she's probably going to be buying wine and hammocks and idols in no time.
Or her way back into the game.
Right.
Going to immunity.
All right. And this is a kebab reward, a real reward.
Real food.
Last week it was spices. Now it's
have time for spices.
Chicken and vegetables and like a whole thing. Like, this is something I'm playing for.
Yes, absolutely. And also, I don't want to go to tribal.
Yeah, right.
I want immunity.
Yeah, right. Immunity is more important than the food, for sure.
I kind of loved the first look at the tribe with Danny voted out. And, like, no one seemed to care. They zoomed in on Sophie's face, but it was like...
She probably was like, who's Danny?
Yeah, they were like... We don't have anyone's reaction, so we're just gonna zoom in on this random looking. She was just like, wait, which one was Danny? Did she look like that's what it seemed like?
Was Danny a man or a woman? You know, it's like, ooh, yikes. So this is, again, a super intense immunity challenge where they're jumping between platforms, climbing up a ladder, throwing a rope, a human ladder, and then a puzzle.
Yes, and this puzzle was insane on top of that.
Oh my God. Now,
well, guess who didn't think she could do it?
Sandra sits out. The queen will be on her throne on the sidelines. Yeah. Okay, Sandra doesn't need to bother herself with immunity challenges.
When she needs to get up.
Right.
Yeah. She's fine over there.
She's good.
So DeCall has a lead, like
early lead.
Pretty much the whole time.
Not a commanding lead necessarily at first. Tony, you know, Tony's up that ladder because he's got the experience.
He sure does. He knows a ladder now,
He can climb up a ladder that is not actually a ladder.
Yeah, so it doesn't even have to be supportive. Right. He can climb up ladders.
Up and down for Tony. And then there's the rope throwing challenge, which is really...
a Y.
Yes, which is really where Sele starts to fall behind. Ben and Rob are both a mess in throwing this
Rob
rope.
starts it, and I just want to be like, Rob, are you throwing these competitions on purpose, or do you not realize you're not what you used to be?
Yeah.
Like, if that's what it is and he's not what he used to be, I just need him to, like, figure it out. And give someone else the opportunity. Because I feel like he's stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, maybe
and not delivering.
But then it's like, if the alternative is Ben, who basically hits himself with the rope when he tries to throw it, it's like, are these the best options?
Well, but only the one time. I mean, like, ultimately, Ben looked better than Rob.
Yeah, and I was like, put Ben on this from the start. He's a cowboy. Like, it's basically throwing a lasso. Yeah. Eventually, he does get it, but now DeCall has taken more of a substantial lead.
They are so far behind,
like
giving
minutes.
Sarah and Sophie plenty of time to get this puzzle started.
Yeah.
Eventually, Rob and Michelle do get up there for their end of the puzzle.
And this is where the editing gets so good because I think it truly seemed like it was very close. Like it seemed like it took a long time. This is a very challenging puzzle where essentially all the pieces look roughly the same because they're just like amorphous, blobs.
And some of the pieces connect 2 pieces. Yes. So you can't pick up this piece and be like, oh, I see where it fits.
Right.
Because you have to put more puzzle together.
That's right.
And then be like, oh, I see where that fits.
Okay, right, exactly. Because you're building this tree.
Hard.
Yeah. It seems very, very close. But ultimately, you know, Sarah and Sophie managed to pull it out, even though they were like about to finish the puzzle and then they knock off 2 pieces.
Yes.
And you're thinking, oh my God, is this the opening that Rob and Michelle needed?
And the lead was flipping back and forth. Like
was.
he was saying like, DeCall's in the lead, Sally's in the lead, like back and forth.
Yeah.
And it comes down to Sally has 1 piece left.
Yeah.
And DeCall pulls it out.
DeCall pulls it out. So Sally is going to tribal again.
Look, they look like a mess.
Yeah.
DeCall looks like they have their stuff together.
They're clicking right now.
I guess it was that sharp breakfast. I don't know.
Could have been.
And now they're going to have kebabs. They're going to look even better next week.
Yeah. So we get back to camp at Sele, and it is silent, and no one is walking away.
Again, this is such good editing. Like the editing of this episode, award-winning.
Yeah.
There's this like Western music as they just sit in their little standoff.
Right. It's like the heat from the fire across people's faces to like add to the drama because they're all just sitting around the fire. Nobody wants to move because they know as soon as somebody moves, that's when the guns are coming out and like shots are being fired and who's gonna, you know, end up in the crosshairs kind of thing.
Yep. Well, Jeremy eventually gets up. He's like, whatever.
And he knows that Ben is going to follow him.
Ben's going to follow him.
Yeah.
So we see Jeremy, Ben, and I believe Michelle was in this conversation.
Yes.
And they were like, we still good with Parvati. That sounds like a fine plan.
Yeah.
And I hear it in Ben's voice. Ben is the only one in his confessionals that are like, Rob's dangerous. But it doesn't seem like anyone else is saying Rob's dangerous. They're all just saying, let's disarm Rob.
I did not hear Rob's name out of anyone's mouth except for Ben's, unless it was, let's get someone else out to disarm Rob.
Okay, now we're back to being frustrated because it's just like so... I don't understand why you think you need to disarm Rob. You will never stop Rob from being Rob. Rob will always be really good at this game.
And Rob has been disarmed, okay? He let go of Danny last week, who was a number for him, rightfully so. But Rob's alliance now is 3 people out of 8 on this tribe. What more do you need to get him out, to take the shot? You have the numbers. Well, Adam thinks he wants to work with Rob long term, and Rob trusts him and he trusts Rob.
Right, this is when I understood a little bit more because I can yell and rant and rave about this whole like, why are we not going after Rob? We just want to disarm Rob. Mm-hmm. But then hearing the way Adam talked and approached this whole situation, you see that Adam thinks he's smarter than Rob, which is shocking, but he does. And he wants to work with Rob. Like, he thinks he can use Rob as a number. He said Rob trusts him. And he wants to knock people out of the way so he can work with Rob. And I personally think that that's absolutely ridiculous.
Nobody uses Rob for a number.
No.
That's not Rob's truth. Okay?
100%.
So you're not going to be the first person ever to do that, Adam. Nope. I just hate to break it to you, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but we see Adam.
And also, I'm sorry, real quick. Yeah. Also, he wants to manage feelings. He does bring up, like, he doesn't want to take out one of Rob's people and have Rob pissed off at him because he wants to work with him.
It's a long-term relationship.
So this is all like managing his feelings and whatever. So he goes to Rob.
And he says, listen, we got to get out Parvati. Look at the game she's playing. She is a threat. She's cutthroat, blah, 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 blah.
Adam is saying that to Rob, like, dude, sorry.
Yeah.
We're going to take out one of your numbers.
But you get it, right? You know we have to get her out. And Rob's like, who the f are you talking to? Like, we're gonna blindside you, you idiot.
Yeah, of course, Rob does his thing to Adam's face of like, seriously? This is what? Oh, man,
bummer.
And then walks away and is like, you've seen me play. You know you don't talk to me that way.
He's like, hell to the no. Okay, so he goes up to Jeremy and Michelle, and they're like very innocently like, well, we're weighing our options. And Rob's like, the jig is up. I know what's happening. I know Parvati's the target. Adam told me everything. We're getting Adam out, obviously. And they're like, well, okay. Adam, what the F?
Yeah, so obviously they're starting to be annoyed with Adam, and they are going to play Rob's game now and be like, well, I guess we could do that and nod along, you know, that's what you would say if Rob is coming at you like that.
Yeah, right, okay, yeah, let's blindside Adam.
Rob continues to go to Parvati and Ethan and be like, this is what they're telling me.
And Parvati's like, well, I'm on board, Adam. Yeah, obviously, we have to get him out.
Like, how do we think that this wasn't going to get back to Parvati? Like, obviously.
Right. Oh my God.
They're going to want to turn on Adam.
Yeah. Adam told both Rob and Ethan that he was going after Parvati. So yeah, Parvati's going to find out, and she does. And so those three, the old school alliance now, seems to be on board with getting Adam out.
Yeah.
But now this new schoolers, minus Adam, because he's just kind of a mess who's targeting Parvati. These other people are talking about, do we do Adam because he's a double crosser?
Yeah.
Or do we do Ethan because we want to weaken Rob?
So they're playing telephone, right? They're going through their group. They go to Denise, they go to Ben. Like they're saying Adam did this, right? And they're like, what? Why? Why would he do this? And yes, they can be annoyed with Adam and upset with Adam, but the odds are they trust and know Adam more than they trust and know Rob. Like, that's what it comes down to. So even though we see them get frustrated and annoyed, do you keep the devil you know or do you keep the devil you don't know, right? So we see Michelle and Jeremy sort of keep the debate going of like, we want to weaken Rob. So who do we get out? We could do Ethan.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes less sense than Parvati. Like at least Parvati is actually a threat. She is amazing at this game. Ethan is doing nothing but chilling on this beach being a number.
And being aligned with Rob and Parvati. Yeah. Ethan could be a great free agent if you take out the people who are kind of running his alliance.
Yeah. Who are the people he's listening to?
He's up for grabs if you get Rob out. But no, we're not mentioning Rob. We're not talking about Rob.
Right.
We're not focused on Rob.
We are not. We are not. Now, Michelle, you know, like we have mentioned a few times, she's got something to prove. She's one of the winners that people question.
That's right.
And she really feels like she has to make moves. She has to prove that she's a decent player.
And I did love seeing her in the middle of this. Like, we saw her talking to Ben, talking to Jeremy, talking to Denise.
Absolutely.
Like, she was really in all of these conversations. That was great to see more from Michelle, you know, than I think we've seen for a lot of this season. But I just am still confused as to why the targets going into Tribal are Ethan, Parvati, and Adam.
Yeah.
And Rob's not in the conversation.
Not at all. Not even an option.
Yeah.
As we go into Tribal. All right, let's go to Tribal.
Oh my God. So at Tribal, Parvati, of course, is saying, you know, she feels nervous. She knows that her name has been thrown out there. And Adam's like, yeah, like, you and Rob, you're both legends. One of you has a statue built of you on the island. Like, yeah, we need to take a shot eventually.
I love Rob's like, you don't have to keep bringing it up. You don't have to keep reminding people that's gameplay. That's gameplay. I'm like, no!
Adam's like, I mean, I'm not saying that people have to vote you out because you have a statue, but the fact is you have a statue.
Yeah. Some bunker talk comes up. We're in bunkers. Whose bunker are you in?
It feels like everyone is kind of feeling alone with this talk, right? Like, they're saying, like, we're all in our little bunkers and who's going to come join us in our bunker? Like, we don't really know. So the alliances, as solid as they may seem, may be more tenuous, you know, because we think these old schoolers are all tight, and I think they probably are, but maybe the new schoolers are feeling a little less sure about who can they really trust.
Yeah, and in comparison, especially, like last week, Danny united front, and this week, not so united.
Yeah.
We get a very telling last little word from Ethan, and that's when you just kind of go, oh dear.
It's your time.
He doesn't want to think too far ahead. No, he's just got to think about the now.
Kind of here, I'm not really there, and I'm like, oh, Ethan.
Yeah, unfortunately, that tells me what the editors are trying to tell me.
Yeah.
And so, let's go to the votes.
One vote Parvati. Who's that?
Well, I'm going to guess that that's Adam.
Yeah, then 3 votes Adam. Could it be the old schoolers?
I'm going to guess the 3 old schoolers who were trying to turn it on Adam voted for Adam. Then we start to see Ethan votes. We see Ethan. We are now tied 3-3.
1 vote left.
And of course that's Ethan, because it looks like Michelle, Jeremy, Ben, and Denise wanted to teach Adam a lesson and still weaken Rob at the same time.
But not get Rob out.
No. That's not ever.
That's not an option.
That's not an option.
No.
He is immune at all times.
Right.
So they switched the vote to Ethan. to show Adam that he's not in charge. Adam is shocked.
Yeah.
Like Adam's face.
Yeah, he's confused. Like as soon as there's like 1 vote Parvati and then 3 votes Adam, Adam's like looking around like, whoa, what am I not?
And then any Ethan vote, he was like, wait, what? And then of course Rob is also blindsided.
Yeah.
And he's doing his Rob glare.
That's right.
And poor Ethan has to just leave.
So edge of estrogen is no more.
Well,
we finally have a man out there, but this was
some testosterone.
Not the right move.
This was literally not the man we were talking about.
No.
When we said, let's throw a man in the mix.
Oh my Lord. I don't even want to say it. He gives his coin
he gives it to Parvati.
So
good on you.
2 coins.
That's awesome. And you know what? Honestly, we love Rob and Parvati. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, no, we know how good they are, but we definitely talk about like how you have to get them out. Now, I'm so mad at this tribe. I hope that there is a straight out war and Rob pulls some miracles and there is just fight.
Yeah, I'm not like hoping that Rob and Parvati get eliminated, but it just makes the most strategic sense to me to get out big threats. Like,
I mean, if you want to win, sure.
How have we gone 3 eliminations on this tribe and neither Rob nor Parvati is out of the game yet? It's crazy.
And they like barely have been mentioned. It's not, it hasn't even been a thing.
It hasn't been like close. Well, Rob has no votes, I believe, cast against him so far. Parvati has a couple, but the fact is, it was 4-3 Ethan Adam. Parvati only had 1 vote this week. Like, they haven't even been considered as like serious vote getters so far. Which is just frustrating in a season full of winners.
I think that's credit to Rob and Parvati at how good they are.
Yeah.
They put some fear in those new schoolers that didn't want to make a move too soon. Yeah. And then, you know, I think it's a kind of a fumble on Adam's part for revealing his plan to Ethan and Rob, but it allowed Rob to work some magic, and he did mix it up, and it made it not work for Adam.
Yeah.
So
it's just wild that Denise, Ben, Jeremy, and Michelle had the numbers to pull the trigger and get Rob out, and they chose to get Ethan out.
Is that because they were brainwashed by Adam that Rob didn't need to go?
I have no
That
clue.
he was in...
I can't explain
that Rob was in Adam's pocket somehow, or that they could use him later? I just don't understand that thinking.
I don't understand. And I also don't understand, like, someone like Adam wanting to work with Rob. Like, what have we learned so far from this tribe about working with Rob? Danny and Ethan out back to back, and they were in Rob's alliance. So I guess if you want to team up with Rob, you're going to be a casualty before Rob. So be careful. Now, I assumed, given that now this tribe is 2 down from the other tribe, there was going to be a swap coming up. We don't want to get the tribes too uneven, but there was no swap in the tease. Granted, like, I don't know, maybe they want to keep that a secret, but usually they tease the swaps.
Usually they let us
because that's an important thing.
Maybe it won't be in until next week's preview, but you have to imagine there's a swap coming up.
Yeah.
As soon as they lost that immunity, I was like, oh, swap next week. You were too.
Yeah.
So it is unusual, but I guess they're going to push it 1 more week, maybe.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know what? I had another moment. Because remember last week I was like, is Rob trying to throw this and lose? But I couldn't figure it out. And then this week, the same thing. Like he was not getting that rope in the Y thing. And I was like, is he throwing it?
And he was literally throwing the rope like overhand, which is a strange, like it seemed like it was more one where you like swirl it around and throw it underhand and try to hook it that way. But he's like chucking it overhand straight into the wall. It was a very odd strategy.
Again, it looks like he's throwing it. So I wondered if he wants to get to a swap. Maybe. I wonder if he's so confident that he doesn't care if they go to tribal. Yeah. He knows he's safe and he needs to get with Tyson, maybe Sandra, like any other allies. I wonder if he's trying to swap it up.
Could be. Maybe he's like, I've got more allies on this other tribe. Like, I'm going to, you know.
Like, I mean, I think that's so risky. Loose. I'm not sure that he is doing it, but his performance is just making me think.
It is questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like I said, maybe he just doesn't know he just doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
He needs to let other people take the reins.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that Cele is an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
And it's a little frustrating to watch, but at the same time, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
What else are we gonna do?
Yeah, right.
Let's watch some Survivor.
Yeah.
I'm heartbroken that Ethan is out.
Yeah.
But hey, that's the decisions that they made, and now they have to pay for that.
I would say, to me, like, the real frustrating thing about Ethan being gone is that they didn't acknowledge Ethan's strengths. Like, he is a super likable guy.
Yes.
He has a great story of beating cancer twice, and, you know, he's like kind of an ultimate survivor in a lot of ways. It wasn't any of that. It was just, he's close to Rob, so we're going to get him out to weaken Rob. And I think that doesn't give Ethan enough credit as a player. And so that's just a little bit frustrating.
Had that been the episode that they were talking up Ethan, and that's why they wanted to get him out, then okay, I can see it. But this whole, it's just tired. Let's weaken Rob is just so tired.
Yeah, right.
It just doesn't make sense.
He's already weak enough. You had the numbers to get him out, and you chose not to.
Yeah.
So don't talk about we need to weaken Rob even more.
And also, you can't work with him.
Yeah.
Or you can't use him as a number, I should say.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
you cannot use Rob.
No, he's in charge.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we were a bit up and down.
Yes,
but, you know, hey, this is how we feel.
Yeah, right. I mean, you know, it was a bit of a frustrating move this week, but there was still a lot of great stuff. That
I mean, the editing is so good. The season is, like, they really, production value is up a notch.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, that sneaking into another camp, so good. All of that, amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, please tell us what you think. Were you heartbroken? Were you okay? Were you happy? Like, at least Parvati was safe. I know, I hear you.
I know, yeah.
Absolutely. At least Sandra was safe.
Right,
I mean, yes.
right. Yeah, we have to, like, take our wins where we can get them right now. But yeah, let us know what you guys thought, and we will see you on Monday.
Monday, we will be live with Elaine.
Elaine's back.
She will be here to tell us how she's feeling about these first few episodes.
Yep.
Okay, we'll see you then.
All right, bye.
Bye.